What's up guys, I'm Brooke.
And I'm Chelsea.
And we're here today to actually talk about something that's very serious. I'm proud of Chelsea for speaking out about this topic. This is something that between the two of us we've kept pretty under wraps. I would hate to see any negativity around this video.
In 2010, I had a pretty traumatic experience and I was later diagnosed with bipolar. I have rapid cycling bipolar disorder. So after that had happened, I was hospitalized, and once I was out, I went and I did therapy for a while, and I saw a psychiatrist, and I hated the medication that they had me on. I didn't feel like myself. I didn't feel much of anything really. And so I stopped taking it, and I just kind of decided to ignore it for a long time. I never looked into it. I didn't want to know anything about it. It was just something else that was there, but I could, live my life without ever thinking about it. And it turns out, looking back now, a lot of the hard times that I went through were because of different phases that I was in. I couldn't hold a job for very long because all of a sudden one day I'd wake up and be like, I don't want to work here anymore, and I wouldn't show up. I couldn't hold a relationship because one day I'd wake up and say, this person doesn't do anything for me anymore. I want to do this, this, and this. We're over. That sucked because, breaking someone's heart is never fun. As you all know, I was in almost a two-year relationship before Brooke and I got back together. And as soon as we broke up, I contacted Brooke and we started talking again, and she encouraged me to look into it. And this was like 3 years ago. So I just started reading a lot about the different types of bipolar disorder, and I've really come to understand what I'm feeling and when it's happening. I've become very self-aware. I went to a wonderful psychologist for a long time, and she helped me really channel how to talk about what I was feeling, because then I could really understand what was happening to me. So with my bipolar, I experience a lot more depression than I do mania. It's more of a hypomania, which means I can, have spurts of ups and really high points and be really, really happy, to where everything's just amazing and the world is just beautiful. And then on the other hand, what comes along with that is agitation and irritability, and if Brooke puts something in the cupboard wrong, I can lose my mind over it. And so I started to notice that because I wasn't in control of my own emotions, I started to micromanage other parts of my life, like the way I want things done, the way I want things put, how I want things said, how I want things understood, and how I want to be reacted to are all big triggers for me. But we're working together, and she's so patient. She's so patient with me. I'm just really lucky to have her. Having a mental illness can make you feel really alone sometimes. And it's just such a blessing when you find someone that understands and is willing to work with you. Some of the symptoms that I endure, I have visual hallucinations, and those mostly happen when I'm in a state of hypomania or mania. A lot of it's brought on when I haven't been sleeping well, and I'll see things, and sometimes it's really scary because it could happen while you're driving. You can just see someone standing in front of you in the street, and there's been a few times where I almost ended up in a really dangerous situation. It's hard. And then I have auditory hallucinations. For me, the voices I hear are mostly whispers, and it sounds like someone standing right behind me just whispering into my ear. Sometimes I don't even know what it's saying, and then I turn around and no one's there. When it gets really bad, it's my own voice that I hear. And then you think, once you get home and get into bed, just go to sleep and you don't have to worry about it anymore. A lot of people with bipolar understand this. Sleeping isn't always the most comforting. I have nightmares almost every night, and I wake up and I still see them all day long. I wasn't supposed to cry in this.
She was determined not to cry in this.
It just gets really exhausting because you're scared to leave the house because you don't know what you could see out there. And then you're scared to go to bed because you don't know what you'll see in your dreams. And the best way to manage it, honestly, is just to accept it and to acknowledge that it's there. I've done my reading and I've done my research, and I know so much more than I ever did. And just everything I've been reading and all the people that I've talked to about it, I've really come to understand that bipolar is a very different kind of mental illness because it's not easy per se to diagnose, because there are so many different kinds of symptoms you could have, and there are so many, if you go into the doctor and tell them this, this, and this, they could easily just point the finger to something else. But you really have to dig deep and think about not just how you've been feeling for the past few months or a year or so, but really look at a pattern of your life. And if you've been going up and down, and there are a lot of times in mania stages that you won't remember what you've done or said. There's a lot of things that I don't remember happening, especially with Brooke. A lot of my spontaneity being with her was a lot of mania, where I would just drop everything, go to wherever she was, and there's a lot of it I don't remember. Something else that comes along with bipolar is anxiety, and I know there are a lot of YouTubers out there and a lot of viewers who understand what having an anxiety disorder is like. But being bipolar, you also experience heavy fits of anxiety and anxiety attacks, to the point where panic attacks are almost a regular occurrence. The anxiety is only one symptom of what I go through, and it's one of the worst ones. So for me, I think, when I look at bipolar, I look at a broad spectrum of mental illness, and I just kind of, take a pinch from each one of them and combine it into a bowl, and there you have all the symptoms of bipolar. So I think that's why it's so hard to really pinpoint what type. And where I'm at now, I'm looking into maybe seeing a doctor and a psychiatrist, and to learn more about the kind of medications that are out there, just because, any of you that have seen any kind of depression or bipolar commercial, when you hear the side effects, it's a mile long, and a lot of them are pretty horrible. I really want to find maybe like a support group and, it's hard to find because a lot of people don't want to speak out about it because they're ashamed, and it's not their fault. I just think a huge key in being able to deal with and handle having a mental illness of any kind is really just being self-aware and knowing when you wake up, okay, how do I feel today? And could that be because of something environmental, or is it something that's happening chemically inside of you?
Alright guys, thank you so much for taking this journey with us. This is not an easy topic for Chelsea to talk about. If you know or have ever heard of any stories about depression or bipolar anxiety, please do so in the comments below. We'd love to hear about them. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. But yeah, I love you. I'm so proud of you. I'm really proud of you.